Hi, welcome to Bible Character Chronicles. This is where scripture meets story. So, the name Seth means appointed or granted. So, when Eve gave birth to Seth, she said, God has appointed me another offspring in place of Abel. So, um, I think Eve and Adam had by this time established that, you know what, Cain is not the one who is going to crush the serpent's head. So, when she sort of received this other son, she was like, oh, maybe he is the one. So, the name Seth means appointed, yeah, and he was a righteous man. I think Adam and Eve could see that. This man is righteous. Yeah, he was a righteous man. He was also seen as a replacement for Abel, and he sort of brought hope to Adam and Eve because after establishing the fact that Cain may not be the one to crush the serpent's head, Seth was a gleam of hope, was a glimpse of hope. Maybe he is the one. So it is in Seth's time, it is his descendants, one of his sons, Enosh, is the one in his age. It is when people started to call upon the name of God. I don't know what that means. Maybe they began to worship or they began to pray. But yeah, it happened during Seth's regime. Yeah, and so Seth is also a part of the righteous lineage, which we call the godly lineage of Seth, and from his lineage is also where Jesus ultimately comes. So it's his lineage that led to Noah, then Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and ultimately Jesus. When we look at Seth, something we sort of get revealed to is that he was some sort of Christ, some type of Christ. We will find many people who are types of Christ in the Old Testament when we, like, sort of people who represent Christ. One, we look at the characteristics that Seth had that are similar to Christ, and we say he was some type of Christ. So yeah, so Seth was appointed. His name literally means appointed, which is the same with Jesus, appointed to save. And he comes from a godly lineage, which of course in turn gives us Jesus. And then another thing that we makes Seth as some type of Christ to us is that he was a source of hope. He was a symbol of hope. His birth was a symbol of hope and renewal. Like, it was the same thing like Jesus. When Jesus was born, the hope came to humanity, and then he died, and then life came to humanity. So Seth being born was a symbol of hope for Adam and Eve, and we really love Seth. We will look at very, very many descendants of Seth as we go through the Bible. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed Seth. I love Seth, and if there's anything more that you would like to tell me about Seth that I don't know, please feel free to share with me. I want to know more about Seth, because as I was reading him, the only thing that would come to me was that he was a righteous man, a replacement of Abel and Cain, and he was also some sort of type of Christ. Thank you. See ya. I have